All right. All right. Woo, Snippy. So this is I forgot, I just wrote it too. Number 133 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. And I just put in the title of this as You Put the Discipline On. And I was watching Theo podcast yesterday called This Past Weekend, and it was number 236. That was his, I guess that's the number of podcasts of interviews that he has. And on the podcast was this motivational speaker, Jocko. I know him by Jocko. I don't know anything about it. I know he's a Navy SEAL, but Jocko Willink or Willing, maybe the K silent. I don't know. Look, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, really. I think it's Willink. Maybe it's Willing. The reason I question that is because Theo Vaughn said Willing. So the important part was 6 minutes in the video, 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Did my homework. He talked about the difference between relying on motivation and discipline. Again, I don't know anything about him, but Navy SEAL, he most likely always relied on discipline and doing what you're supposed to do. And he said, basically, you don't rely on feeling motivated before you do something because it might not happen. And I know that personally. If you're going to rely on feeling like you're motivated before you do something, you might not do it. So you rely on the discipline. And he basically said, and I wrote it down here, he summed up, he said, don't wait to feel motivated. And then this is his quote. You don't wait. You don't wait. You put the discipline on. You put the discipline on. So I went through and found some of his quotes, and he mentioned in one quote from a book called Discipline Equals Freedom, Field Manual, summed up, well, the last two sentences of this quote, don't count on motivation, count on discipline. And the book is called Discipline Equals Freedom. And that right there sums up the importance of discipline. So you rely on discipline, not how you feel. Because after, you're going to feel great. You're going to feel like, man, I'm glad I did it. You're going to feel free, just like his quote of his book was mentioning. So what does that have to do with yoga? Well, freedom, like the title of his book, Freedom. And the importance of doing what you're supposed to do, regardless of how you feel. And on the yoga mat, that is what you're doing. You're doing poses. You're doing a form of a moving meditation, even when you don't want to. Like these videos, like I mentioned, this is number 133. I didn't feel like doing these all the time. Some of them, yeah, I felt like, man. And then I got in after number 30 or so, I'm like, man, I got into it. Then around 100, I started going, man, I don't want to do it. But every time I complete a video at 5:30 to 6 every morning, I feel, yes, I did it. Not just because I did yoga, but because I accomplished something. And that feeling of accomplishment is very important. So it may be going to work out. It may be going for that half a mile walk or the walk down to the 4th stop sign on your in your neighborhood and then back. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are, set a goal and do what Jocko, I will say his last name, Willink, the easiest name I can't pronounce. I just have 3 college degrees and I can't speak. That comes from Miss Harvey. Miss Harvey was my speech teacher in elementary school. And what it taught me, what did the speech teacher teach me? That I can't speak. That's what it instilled. Not really. Yeah, really, actually. But anyway, so freedom is in discipline. So that's what we're doing on the yoga mat. So I don't have my meditation pillow because I went to a Zen meditation yesterday, and it's different than yoga. I did it a long time ago, actually, like 25 years ago. But so today we're going to continue to do our two sun salutations. And again, how I teach yoga is about a mindset, which is interesting because yesterday when I did the Zen meditation, which is a path, nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying this to put down the meditation because it's a meditation is someone's path. But for me, in the way that I like to teach yoga, and the way I like to do my meditation, is I like to watch my thoughts. And the way I was told the Zen meditation works, and this is somebody's interpretation, is that summed up, they didn't use the word escape, but you escape your thoughts. And that is great. That is great. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's a path. But in my opinion, when you get off that meditation pillow or off this yoga mat, you're going to think. So what I want to make sure that happens when I teach yoga is I teach a mindset of freedom, just like the quote from Jocko. I want to teach you can do it, just like the quote from Jocko with discipline. You just go through the motions sometimes. You feel open. You feel the energy of acceptance because you might go into a pose that you don't feel like you're doing it perfectly. So you let go of judgment. You let go of trying to be somewhere and you accept. And you gain all these positives. You gain all these positive types of mindsets, individual mindsets. It's one mindset because it's yoga, so it's oneness. But you gain these mindsets. And these mindsets, and it's plural, I'm doing that on purpose, is a collection of thoughts. Because when you get off the meditation pillow, off the yoga mat, you will start thinking again. So what you want to do on the yoga mat is get a collection of thoughts that are positive. So when you get off the yoga mat, you're feeling positive. You're not disconnected from your thoughts. Now, that is a path. It's a great path. I do it too. I do that meditation too, where eventually you focus on your thoughts and boom, no more thoughts. And then you realize you're not your thoughts. That's part of the yoga that I teach too. But it's also a collection of thoughts that creates a positive mindset on the yoga mat. So when you get off the yoga mat, you have a positive mindset and you can accomplish the day. You feel free, you feel open, you feel disciplined, like the quote, you feel accepting, you feel great because it's all in the mindset. Kind of nippy. I don't know if it's too nippy. So let's go to the mountain pose. So with the mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed. So no tension in the arms or the shoulders. And what you're going to do is lengthen yourself up. You can't see my hand. You pull. You don't bend down like I am, but you pull yourself up. So you lengthen up, and then you line the bones up of the skeleton. As if you were just your skeleton. You're trying to find that spot where the skeleton is just standing. And just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And when you focus 100% on the breathing, it heightens your awareness, it lets you know what's going on in the body, lets you become aware of maybe a so-called issue that you have in the lower back or the knee, whatever it may be. The mindset there is that you're not your so-called issues. You're going to bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. It's the first stretch, so go nice and easy. Inhale, then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. And you just fall into the ragdoll. With the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, the head is dangling, so there's no tension anywhere in the arms or the shoulders or the neck. Now, you may feel tension in the lower back, in the hamstrings, and you're aware of that. You're not focused on it. You're focusing 100% on the breathing. You're just becoming aware. Focusing on the breathing heightens your awareness. It lets you know what's going on in the body, lets you know what's going on around you. That's a mindset. So you're taking that mindset off the yoga mat and becoming aware of what's going on around you. Now, if you're not going down as far as you feel like you should, that's judgment. Let go of judgment. That's not what we're doing on the yoga mat. Let go of judgment. Judgment will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. Just accept where you are, essentially accepting who you are. That's a mindset too. You're taking that off the yoga mat. You're accepting yourself. You know your baseline. You know who you are. You're accepting others. That doesn't mean you take negativity from people or you take negativity from situations. That's the baseline. You let yourself know where you are. See, I can't speak. That's Miss Harvey. Miss Harvey put that in me. Put that feeling. I'm just joking. I love Miss Harvey. I don't even know if she's still around. That was elementary school. Probably not. So palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Arch the back. Raise the head. Inhale as much as you can. Exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in. Push all the air out. All the air goes out. And again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Focus only on the breathing. Exhale. Pull yourself in and down. And again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Exhale. Pull yourself in and down. Two more. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. Last one, arch the back, raise the head, inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. Palms to the sides of the feet, left leg is back. Going into the low lunge, so top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight or maybe arched. You're opening up. So you want to make sure the front knee is not going over the toes. If it is, you want to lengthen up some. If the back is straight, you're reaching out. You're elongating the back. If it's arched, you're pushing the hips forward, arching the back, raising the head. You're feeling opened. So, judgment. Let go of judgment. You're feeling like, man, I'm closed up. I'm not going as far as I should. Let go of that mindset. That's not what we're doing. Even if you're feeling like, man, I'm doing this perfectly, still judgment. That's great. It's awesome. But let go of that judgment. Judgment will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. And that oneness is yoga. Yoga is not the positions, the hatha part. It's not the physical part. Yoga is a mindset as well. You're tapping into the oneness of all existence. So you can do yoga while you're washing dishes. If your mind and body's connecting to the activity, then you're doing yoga. So you're feeling open here. Openness is a mindset. Feel opened. You take that mindset off the yoga mat. You have it in the so-called real world. You're open to new ideas, new adventures, new ways of thinking. And openness all hinges, just like that quote I just read, on discipline. So if you didn't want to be on the yoga mat this morning, and you're going through the motions, you're going to feel opened. Feel opened. Now you're going to go to the high lunge, curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, get the leg as straight as you can in the back, Then downward dog. The downward dog, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, and you're pushing into the pose. Now you're listening to yourself. So you're pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, and accept where you are. Acceptance comes from the same energy of openness. So when you're accepting, even though you're closed up, you're opened because of acceptance. You're listening to yourself. So if you're in this pose and you feel like, man, I can go a little further, go a little further. If you feel like, man, I need to bring myself out of it, so bring yourself out of it. Learn to listen to yourself. You're becoming your own guru. Don't listen to me. I don't want to be your guru. You're going to listen to yourself. That's a mindset you take off the yoga mat. And in your everyday life, you're learning to listen to yourself. You take in what others say, you hear, you read something, you experience something, but then you talk it over with yourself and you make a decision by listening to yourself. Now you slide into the upper dog, drop down to the knees and the chest. You slide up, tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. You're feeling opened. Now, if this is too much, you're going to listen to yourself, say, hey, that's too much. You're going to go to hands and knees, arch the back, do the cow. Or you're going to go down to the floor with the small cobra, no pressure on the hands, chest is off the floor. The hands are touching the floor, but you're not using them. The back muscles are pull muscles, so you're pulling up. And you're just feeling opened. Listen to yourself. Then back to downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, they're into the floor. And again, you are pushing into this pose. The head is dangling, no tension in the neck. You find the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing. Now you bring the left foot up between the hands for a low lunge. The low lunge, top of the foot's to the floor in the back, knees to the floor. Hips are square and they're pushing forward diagonally. Front knees not over the toes. Back is straight or maybe arched. The back is straight. You're reaching out, getting the back as straight as you can. And if the back is arched, you're arching the back, pushing the hips forward diagonally, scooping the back, heads going up. For me, it looks like I'm having the back straight, but I'm actually trying to arch it. You see, I'm accepting where I am. I can see myself. I know my back is not arched, but for me, I'm arched. And for me, I'm open. Mindset of openness. Let go of judgment. Let go of, man, my back's not arching. So I can see myself right there. My back's not arched. But that's my back. That's the way it is. It's always been a thing. It's always been my back. Feeling opened. Again, that's a mindset. You take that off the yoga mat. You feel opened throughout the day. You feel open to new ideas, new thoughts, new adventures. And just a great way to live life, feeling opened, not closed up. Now, you're going to go in the high lunge just for a second or so. We use it as a transition. So, curl toes under the back, leg as straight as you can get it. The right leg goes up into the standing forward bend. Palms are to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down. And here, a very important pose. Because what's happening is you're 100% focused on the breathing. Makes you aware of what's happening in the body. So you're aware of the stretch in the hamstrings or the lower back. You're aware of even what's going on outside. Like for me, I feel the air. I hear the cars all the way in the back. But in this pose, why it's important is you're letting yourself breathe. So you're closed up, accepting where you are. And then when you inhale, the belly expands with air. It pushes you out of the pose slightly. When you exhale, the belly goes in. So when you inhale, the belly expands with air. I might have said that wrong. So when you inhale, the belly expands with air, pushes you out of the pose slightly. When you exhale, the belly goes in. And what's important is you're focused on the breathing, aware of that subtle movement. And that's the mindset. You're learning to become aware of subtleness. So when you're in the so-called real world, off the yoga mat, you are aware of subtleness. You're aware of the subtle things that are happening around you. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale, exhale, and again, inhale. We'll move a little bit faster in these poses. Exhale, hinge forward from the lower back, standing forward bend, same position, focusing on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. You're pulling yourself in and down, forehead's going to the knees. Aware of what's happening in the body. The focus on the breathing heightens your awareness. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. You're feeling opened. Just feel as open as you can. Don't judge it. Once you're settled, you accept. So you're not trying to go somewhere. Once you're in the pose, you accept where you are. You focus on the breathing and just feel opened. Think of nothing else but openness. I'm sorry. Think of nothing else but on the breathing. When you're feeling opened, you're aware. Not focused on these things, you're just feeling them because you're focused on the breathing. Messed that up because I started looking at the clock to see what time it was. I messed it. See, my focus was off. And I'm going to go to downward dog. To go to downward dog, go in transition pose, high lunge, then move into downward dog, pushing into it. Again, you are pushing into this pose. You're pushing as far as you can, right to the spot you feel like, man, it shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. You slide into the upper dog, drop down to the knees and the chest. You slide up. Modify the pose how you have to. So if you need to go to hands and knees and do the cow, do that. Or the small cobra. Or modify the upward dog. Or do it perfectly. But remember, feeling like, man, I'm doing it perfectly. Is judgment. That's awesome. But that's not what we're doing. Let go of judgment. Judgment will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. Feel opened. Back to downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor. You are pushing into this pose. Pushing as far as you can into it. Then you settle, you accept, and you focus on the breathing. Now, if you're in the pose, you feel like, man, I should bring myself out of it a little bit, do that. And you feel like, man, I can go into it a little bit more, do that. Listen to yourself. You're becoming your own guru. Very important mindset to be able to listen to yourself. Self-talk. Very important. Then bring the left foot up between the hands, low lunge, feel opened. Remember, it's a mindset of openness. Don't judge it. Don't get like, man, I'm not doing this. Let go of that. That's not what we're doing. That's not where we're going. That's not what we're doing. You're feeling opened. Focused on the breathing, feeling opened. You're accepting. Now, go to the high lunge. So here for a second or two, then move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. Focus 100% on the breathing. Heightens your awareness. Even though you're pulling yourself in and down, you're accepting where you are. So that allows you to feel open too. There's openness in acceptance. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. And exhale, turn the palms out, push the air down and out. Then you're going to go to mountain pose. So mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can, and each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, no tension in the arms or the shoulders. And you're lengthening up and then settling, letting the bones set where the skeleton is just standing. As if you were just your skeleton. And you're focused on the breathing, only on the breathing. You're watching yourself breathe. Now, there's two ways to do it. Well, there's more than two ways, but two ways that I like to explain is that you watch the belly go in and out as you inhale, exhale. So when you inhale, the belly expands with the air. And when you exhale, the belly goes in. You watch that, or you bring your focus to the tip of the nose. And you watch the air go in and out. Now, it's natural to control the breathing, but you're already breathing. So let go of control and just watch yourself breathe. And then you'll start to control it again. When you realize you're controlling your breathing, just let go and watch yourself breathe. And also what will happen is that you'll start to think about other things. It's natural. Then when you realize you're thinking about other things, stop. Don't judge it. It's very natural. Don't judge it. And just bring your focus back to the breathing. And what happens is you realize you're not your thoughts. You're the watcher. You're watching your thoughts. You realize you're not the control. You're the watcher. Capital W, the self, capital S, the seer, capital S, the observer, capital O. So I'm going to stay here a little bit longer, so just watch yourself breathe. Palms together. Namaste. And that's it. So that's, I forgot what it was. That's number 31, 32, 33, number 133 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. So I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. So namaste, peace and love.